Good morning. I've talked about attire, how you dress up, and then the carry items, what you carry along with you, which speaks about yourself altogether. You know, when I had been focusing this entire course, I was focusing on non-verbal. Here, these items are absolutely under the non-verbal category. Here, you are not expressing anything orally. Your get up, your carry items, it speaks by itself. That means impression about you, the interpretation of yourself, or the reflection of your persona, everything depends on how you are presenting yourself without speaking a single word. And then comes a situation when you have gone in for, say, interview or any negotiation or interaction or something, and some manifestations or actions you start doing. There I have some suggestions. Why I say these requires grooming, because frankly telling you, nobody teaches this. Nobody teaches. If anybody does good, it's by themselves they have grown. If anybody does not do good, it's only because they don't know. But I thought after all these researches that my people should know that there is something to learn. And learn from what? Learn from experiences, learn from researches and other. It is because of this I have configured the whole lectures in this manner. Okay? If you go over and over again, then we will understand the objective might, or rather my targets. Okay? Here, now I am coming to the next point, that is manifestations or actions. After this is over, then I will go directly into a subject of how to appear for interview. And after that, I will go into the subject of what to consider during group discussion, how to manifest, how to act during group discussion. Okay? These two are very serious matters. When I will talk about the interviews and the group discussion, you please don't consider that I am considering you as a student. No. Interviews are attended by people for jobs. Interviews are also attended during viva voce, okay, in academic courses. Interviews are between two persons trying to know each other. Interviews are essentially to explore opportunities. So it is not necessary, don't consider you as a student. You consider as yourself as a person who is responsible in interacting, and then what you should do. But when I will talk about the interview, most often what happened is, when I started getting requests from my students that what they should do, they got an interview call, then naturally they requested for my advice, and then I kept on advising them to a certain extent. In this process, whether you are going for your academic selections, whether you are going for your negotiations, it holds good everywhere, everywhere. That is why I kept it very generalized. So now let me first complete this part, grooming, that is of manifestation and actions. Okay, what are there? One is your manifestations, alertness, how alert you are. Okay, then whisper. You know what happens during discussion? Some people whisper to the next person. Like say something like, I'll just give a demo. I think this person is not talking right. This is a whisper. If I'm three here, and on the other side there are four, and one person is not talking very much to the point, then I can also say, actually he is going, he's beating around the bush. He is not saying what is to be said. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm whispering to my person. Okay, whisper, manifestation, it is done. We don't whisper to the other person directly. We whisper to our own, collaborators. Then speech, how you speak, the voice, the depth of voice. Then tone. The tone is a very peculiar thing here in these cases. The tone is the expression of your mental state at that point of time. This tone has nothing to do with your fundamental physics. This tone is in which tone? Is it a soft tone? Is it an aggressive tone? Is it a welcome tone? Such, which is psychological phenomena. Then come acronym, short forms. Then comes code words. It happens in the profession, these things happen. I'll tell you what you should do, what you should not do after I give you the list. And then comes waiting, when you wait. what you do. Okay? And then overall expression. See, your manifestation means you have come to an organization, called for interaction or interview, and then everything you start working. In the whole process, you have been made to work, made to manifest. So your actions will speak. Your actions, whatever you do, whether you said or unsaid, it will be now interpreted by some people, somewhere, sometime. So here it is very important thing I thought you should take note of. See, in terms of alertness, it is alert or prompt or casual or busy looking or chatting on cell phone. All these are a reflection of your alertness. When I'll be giving examples, I'll always take cases which either I have seen or have heard, but I'll never name the context, the location. I may say context, but not the location or the person. Okay. Somebody has entered, you are sitting, just imagine that you are sitting in a reception lobby waiting for your call. At that time another person enters. He may have come for the same purpose, but that person, when he is entering, he is still on the cell phone and loudly speaking to somebody, and entering through the gate, came to the reception and then stood there for some time, not really asking the reception about anything, just finishing his talk, a chat. I tell you, this is very, very, very negative. If you had something to chat about, finish it outside. Finish it, stop your cell phone, come inside, do the business. Or else, another case, somebody comes in, suddenly a call comes, and then he keeps on chatting, not really bothering about the others are also listening. And here again, something more dangerous. Some people have a habit of shouting at the cell phone as if he is trying to reach his voice from here to that location. Very funny. And this shouting, high pitched sound, he keeps on speaking without, chatting, without bothering that others are getting disturbed, because he is not concerned. He is concerned about himself and his cell phone. This is what is called basically the alertness. Is he alert about the situation, about others' disturbances, or is about the position where he is chatting now? Should he call? The gentle person, the sober person, what he will do if he gets a call, immediately he will not even talk. He will just swipe, a command comes that send an SMS, I am in a meeting, or call you later. The moment you do it, no sound, first the whole SMS immediately goes out, you communicate to your other person that this is not the time to speak. At the same time, I will tell you, if you have gone somewhere for any interaction, something, and sitting in the reception, different people have different cell phones with a different kind of ringtones and funny ringtones. Okay? My suggestion is the ringtones should be off at that point, and it should be on the silent mode. There is no harm if you respond to your cell. You got a vibration, you just took it out, it did not make any sound anywhere, you just looked at it and just sent the SMS that you are busy in a meeting. That's good enough a sober way of doing it. Very, very sober way, without making anybody any disturbance. It's alertness. So your alertness not only here, alertness is during the interaction, your promptness of answering, your promptness of meeting the receptionists. Don't enter in a very casual mood, as if you are very mentally free, going for an interview, going for interaction, going for negotiation. You entered very casually, as if I am very free, mentally I am very, very free, I am not stressed, I am not tensed. Casual, not good, not good. Don't do it. At the same time, also don't be a busy looking, that you enter and you look so busy, make yourself look so busy that this has to be done right now, and this I have to get the feedback. Can you tell me? Goes to the reception. I've seen such people entering with a very busy look first, and then with his eyebrows and up and the eyelids small, looks at everybody as if who the hell are them? Looks like this to everybody, and then goes to the reception and then talks to the receptionist, asking about the appointment and all these things, in a tone as if he is very busy, he doesn't have much time. He needs to know, he means business, and he needs to know exactly when is his time. And if he is not soft and sober, then any response may suddenly trigger his aggressiveness, may So you should be always alert about the situation. Okay. So what did I say in this? Summarily, if you have to talk to somebody, finish it before you enter the reception lobby. And if you got a call when you are in the reception lobby, then try to answer it through SMS and try to put your phone on the silent mode when you enter, otherwise it will disturb. Don't look casual. Don't also look very busy looking. Be normal. Be prompt. Walking to the reception desk in a sluggish move is not good. Be normal. Have normal steps. Reach the reception lobby. Then all those things I said with respect to standing, put your elbows, put your hands, follow that. Be very, very professional and a person of good personality. Okay. Next, whisper. When you go to the reception, you don't need to really whisper. Whispering means you are not really aware whether your word has reached, but at the same time, you need not be loud, not be very loud. Okay, how people do whisper during interaction or during conversations? Either they lower their heads and then whisper, something like this. Speaking to somebody else next and lowering this and then saying, or covering lips, something like this, or something like this. I'll tell you, these are all very bad manners. Don't have to really whisper. Don't have to. You are whispering on, you are trying to share something which you want the other people should not know. Okay? Then in that case, you turn directly to your colleague. Turn like this, and then say in a low voice, not really whispering. I have seen people using ventriloquism. Dangerous. What is the ventriloquism is? You have your lips closed almost, and you are still uttering the word which somebody can hear. And it is so depressing that you are hearing sound, conversations, small, short conversations, but you cannot make out who is really speaking to whom. Ventriloquism, I have seen people doing it during interaction. I cannot do it, so I cannot demonstrate. Sitting like this, nearer to the other colleague, and then lips closed, and then he is using ventriloquism. So he is saying something to him. Think about the reaction of the people who are sitting in front. When there are group discussions in such kind of cases, group discussions means negotiation and all these things are very, very counterproductive. You don't have to really lower your head just to whisper to your friend. You don't have to really lower your head when you are trying to say something to your friend. So what is the best solution is turn. Be very active, turn, say something in a very low tone, low voice, so that he can hear. And if you don't want others to hear, then your clarity should be such that your friends can hear. But nobody on the other side should think you are saying something which you don't want them to hear. No, that's bad manners during interaction. You are saying something, not letting know others that what is actually being said. That is not very fair, because it's an interaction that you are doing. Okay? So these things you take care. In speech, it is things which are very critical in this. I will find out some time to talk about the speech factors and the voice factors later on during the course of negotiation discussion. Okay, not here. I don't want to load it here. But the points which I am trying to highlight is, the point that I am trying to highlight is here: speed of the speech, clarity, the pause, friendliness of your speech, assertive speech. Okay? There can be assertive tone, but assertive speech means when you are speaking, you are being very forceful, dominating, sometimes aggressive, or repetitive, or casual. There are so many ways speech can be, interpreted. So here you have to be very careful about applying what kind of speech you are going to use here. Speech, I am not talking about the content. It's the way you express verbally. Okay? Now, clarity is must. Speed should not be. See, which I don't want to do it here, but I have demonstrated this to my students just in my classes, where somebody is speaking so fast that one cannot make out exactly what he is saying. You know, that is not good, though he had a very clear dictions, but the speed was such that others could not get it one word after another. Okay? So, speed is very important. That does not mean that you have to be speaking it in a very low speed. It's something like, what I want to tell you is, the fact remains, we are not being able to do business with you. Very, very slow. Same thing you say in a normal manner. Or very fast. The fact remains that we cannot do any business with you. No. These are all very, very, mannerism wise is very poor, very, very unfair. Give a good opportunity to the listener to get your points, get your words very correctly heard and then interpreted. So, clarity is important, speed is important. Pause you give between sentences, not between words in a sentence. I hope you understand the difference between this. I just demonstrated pause between few words, but what I am saying is give pause. Pause has a very strong connotations in your negotiations. You give pause as a strategy, but not pause between sentences. Also you can give to a certain extent, but not between words. Okay. Then comes voice. The voice depends on the depth. See, different person has different kind of depth of voice that is endowed by nature. When you grow, when you come to the adolescent stage, you find that your voice cracks, your voice becomes slightly, deeper. It all depends, which is physiological phenomena. But whatever you have, the depth of the voice is important. Sometimes you get very much impressed with somebody who has a very deep voice. Sometimes the deep voice oriented statements almost overpowers us. But unfortunately, we cannot do anything about it. However best you try, you really cannot change your depth of the voice. It is physiological. Okay? So, thing is, what you can control, the thing is, what you can control is not the depth of the voice, but certainly you can control the loudness of the voice. Don't be very loud. Be moderate. Don't be too low in terms of loudness, which is not audible. Be normal. Be normal. There is also something called pitch. An example like, I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this. Same thing I said with a higher pitch. I want to tell you this. It's a lower pitch. So pitch is equally important. I'll tell you, pitch makes a lot of impacts. Moment you go for higher pitch, it sounds very arrogant, very dominating. Be very careful about it. But when you're working on the pitch, then whispering, soft, harsh, cracked, and all these things are associated with it. I gave an example last time about a person who has a very good voice, but only difficulty is he has some kind of medical problem, the vocal cord problem. After a few words uttering, his voice suddenly becomes feminish. Very unfortunate. I found only 2-3 such persons like this in my life. But okay, it's there. The thing is, how you speak, it makes a lot of difference. It is said during negotiation, during interaction, 95% is dependent on how you speak. The 5% actually depends on the content, how you speak. A very unpalatable words you said in a very nice manner, people may not be able to infer. Very nice things said in a very poor manner, people will get irritated, agitated, angry. So this, that's why it is said, hold your tongue. Hold your tongue means basically, see, the tongue is responsible for making all these variations in the speech. Okay, that the medical scientists or psychologists, they will talk about it. Basically, hold your tongue is connotation of the fact that when you are speaking, the depth, the pitch, the loudness, the tone that you control. It is never said that you hold your tongue and don't speak. It is saying hold your tongue means you control it. And here it makes a lot of difference when you are going to go for interactions. This is one of the another very strong soft skill. That's why verbal skill we talk about. There are very good talkers. I say that, okay, they talk so well. When I say well, what does it mean? It's all in composition, in combination, speak so well. It is so nice to hear. It is because of this, good speakers, we would like to listen to them more than once. But the bad speaker with lots of content, we would like to listen to them only once, and after that try to run away from them because they are bad speakers. So you have to be a good speaker. But since I am not focusing on your strongly verbal communication, but I will talk about it later. So in your soft skill, verbal communication also comes in. But if suppose you are taught very methodically how to speak, and how to speak, then it becomes to a certain extent hard skill. Okay, but however, the tone, I have just cited few examples. There are more than 100 kind of tones which are there in the research papers. I am just reading few. Affectionate, humble, egotistical, aggressive, apologetic, arrogant, animated, sarcastic, accusatory, comic. These are tones. Means when you are talking to somebody, if you suppose make a mess of something, made a mistake, and then your tone is apologetic, immediately you will be pardoned. But if you made a mistake and then remain aggressive in your tone, then there will be real fights, I can assure you. Okay? Affectionate is, if suppose a candidate enters my interview room and I welcome him in a tone which is very affectionate, he feels immediately very comfortable, comes and sits over here, opens up himself and answers all my questions. Okay? But the moment he enters, I become aggressive. Please come in and take your seat. It's aggressive. If I say please come in, take your seat, it's affectionate. Okay? Now, arrogant means you are just reflecting your arrogance to the others. That means you are dominating over the others. Animated, when you are speaking, there are many people whom I have seen, their tone is very animated, means it goes ups and downs. I cannot really find a good example at this moment. So this is important. It has to be noted. But for God's sake, never be sarcastic. Sarcastic tone always hurts, and sarcastic tone, whether it is an interviewer making a sarcastic a remark with a sarcastic tone, or whether the candidate answers. I will give one example, because when I am talking about it, many of the examples are suddenly entering my mind, and I am just bringing those here, trying to share with you. I know a person at a very young age, he is of my same age, probably at the age of 26, 7, I was also facing interview in many places, he was also facing interview in many places. Okay. Unfortunately, I faced maybe 2-3 interviews, and by then I was selected, and he had to face about 30 interviews, if I recall. He only told me the story, and that's why is my knowledge. He went for the interview. After a few questions, he was asked that, have you ever given interview to some other organization earlier? He said, yes, I have given about 30 interviews before. Everybody was shocked. What is this? 30 interviews before? This 31st interview maybe? Yes. What happened? Why you were not selected over there? Then he passed a point. Answer was, unfortunately, in all the interviews, they had their own chosen candidate. And I didn't have anybody sitting amongst the interview board, so I was never selected. This comment is a very sarcastic comment. He said it, I said it in a slightly softer manner because that's my habit. He said it in a slightly sarcastic tone with a little bit of lips, half smile and others. What he meant is that in other places he did not get selected because he had nobody sitting amongst those interviewer. You know, the immediate response of the chairman of that interview board was, "So today you came for this interview. Are you confident that you might get it?" He said, "I think I am confident." Then the immediate next question was, "How are you so confident? Is there anybody amongst us who is sitting who is of your person?" Do you understand what happened? He lost the job. He didn't get the job. He was, first of all, sarcastic. And also he told a thing which was not really appropriate for an interview responses, and immediately gave a very negative vibes in the mind of every interviewer that this person, everybody was thinking, is it the person who is sitting next to me is basically pushing this candidate to our company? Everybody was thinking about the other, and it made us such a psychological mess. I can assume that he was immediately said, "Okay, thank you very much." Then he was pushed out, and that boy comes to me and tells me, and he narrates his sad story. No point. These people have their own persons inside, and all that. One such remark, a very sarcastic. First, he passed a sarcastic comment, and the next, the chairman passed a sarcastic comment. Okay, I hope you understand that the differences in these. Next is acronym and code words. I brought it together for a reason. Whenever you are interacting for anything, interview or interactions, try to avoid acronyms. An example, I've just cited few. There are many acronyms which are very commonly floating in the market, and essentially in the corporate offices or in the market scenarios, these acronyms are very day-to-day word. Nobody bothers about it. Nobody is concerned about it. But I will tell you, it is a matter of botheration. FYII, for your information. USP, unique selling point. If you really want to say that that's my company's USP, you say that's the strength of my company. You don't have to say that's our company's USP. ASAP, as soon as possible. LCC, life cycle cost. CBR, cost benefit ratio. LTV, lifetime value. There are many more. See, what I'm cautioning you is this. Why you should not use these acronyms? The reason is simple. Maybe it's a very buzzword or common words which are floating in the corporate worlds or in the marketing worlds. But the person who is sitting opposite to you, he may not be aware of all of them. And it may be that you have used an acronym which he is not familiar with. If he is smart, he will immediately ask you, what is USP? If he is smart, he will ask you. If he does not know what is USP, I expect that, okay, they would know. But there are many acronyms which I don't know, you don't know, and many people don't know. Okay, the thing is, immediately cross question is, what is USP? Or I'll tell you, this question is basically with a bit of irritation. It's not, a kind of trying to know what is USP. It's an irritation. Why should you use acronym? Use your sentence complete. Don't use acronyms. Acronyms you use with your friends and your colleagues, but not with outsiders. Same is with the code words. Like, I hear quite often, because I'm a professor in this institute. So sometime when I say that, I call a student, I say that you can come to me at 4:30. No sir, actually my prof has called me at that time. What is prof? He is using a code word called prof is a professor. He is trying to say professor. My prof has called me at that time. It's very, very derogatory and below courtesy. One girl student once met me in the department, and then first year student, I don't blame her. She came and told me, "Sir, can you tell me where the FACAD sits?" FACAD, what is that FACAD? I am an IITian myself. I never heard something called FACAD. I'm a professor here. I never knew what is FACAD. I said, FACAD? I don't know. What is FACAD? Then she said, it's a faculty advisor. My goodness, I was blown out of my mind. I said, can't you say, where is the faculty advisor? Does it really take that much time and the pain? And you said FACAD. And she ran away from me, of course. I could not tell her that, okay, the FACAD is there. Actually, I went to the HOSPI. What is HOSPI? Hospital. Why should you use these code words? It's not formal, I'll tell you. It's not official, it's not formal. You can use it in a hostel. But like, say, calling somebody as prof, calling somebody as FACAD, these are not the good gestures. So here, first of all, say, I hear quite often, sir, you don't bother, my sales rep will come. Who is the sales rep? I've written over here, sales rep. It's basically sales representative will come. How much time it takes to say representative, says sales rep? Not done. Then there are certain things like code was like cold calls. I received a cold call. Why should you say cold call? Cold call was unsolicited calls. You can always say that I got a call and which I did not expect it. Why should you say cold call? Because everybody is not familiar with this word called cold call. Then 3C. This 3C I have heard from one of my, one of my senior. He was talking about the business, and I was junior. He was trying to educate me, and he was trying to say, if you cannot, close that deal, best is you follow 3C. I was blown. What is the 3C he's talking about? And very politely I asked him, what is the 3C? It's very simple. 3C is very simple. It's convince. First you convince your client. If he is convinced, your deal is done. If he does not get convinced, then you confuse your client. Create such a confusion that he is now probably, he does not know whether to take a decision in favor of it or against it. And if he is not also done through confusion, then you corrupt him. The first time at a young age I learned about this 3C, but I'll tell you, the first time I heard 3C, I was shocked. And when I heard the other actual expansion of this, I was more hurt and more shocked. I have to convince my client, I know that's my job, but I have to confuse him if he is not convinced. And if he is not confused, do I have to corrupt him? I'm sorry, friends. Why I use this here, essentially to tell you, be very careful about using terms. There are smarter people than you. There are lots of smarter people I have come across more smart than me. And they always use these code terms in such a manner, and if they find that I don't know, they find an internal happiness. I'll tell you, this internal happiness is basically snapping my relationship with him. That does not help. Okay. Then other things like value added. This is a very common word, but still I would say, what is that value added? How do you say value added? Have you computed the value addition? So if you say, I can provide you this, which will be a value added item, why don't you say that I can provide you this, which will be giving you these benefits? So never use, or low hanging fruits. Quite often nowadays we are also using, because we find many people are using. The moment I say low hanging fruits, people say, what is that low hanging fruits? Very common code words. No strings attached, no hidden cost. These are the things which you have to be very, very cautious about. These are all manifestations. Then comes waiting. This I already have said in my earlier lecture, because whenever I was giving some examples, I brought this forward. Waiting at the reception, on the couch, your cell phone use, the newspaper and magazine reading. I'm not going to repeat it. These are actions which makes a lot of difference, a lot of impacts. The positive actions and positive manifestations very silently makes positive impacts, and the negative impacts of these, or negative reactions of the people based on your negative actions, it makes a lot of difference. All these newspaper reading and magazine reading, I already said in my earlier lecture, that sitting in the waiting hall, in the reception lobby, there may be so many attractive newspapers or magazines. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. Let them be where they are. If you are really keen about some magazines or newspaper, go outside and buy it. It is only for their show. It's for decor, not for educating you. If you really had to be, if it was for educating you, they would have put this in every libraries. No, it's not for educating you. You have come for a business. You have been, it's a decor on the table. Table should not look blank, and it should also reflect what is the quality of newspapers or the journals this company generally goes through. So they do it as a decor, and you don't touch. And don't use cell phones sitting over there. If you really have to, then go out of the gate, talk and come back. And on couch, if it is too low, I said already, if it is too low, don't sit. Try to avoid sitting. Avoid sitting. I do it very frequently, and I do it with a grace. So do it gracefully, with poise, okay? And at reception, how you stand, how you put your elbows, how you put your fingers, how you use your hands, your palms, your speaking, these matters. there is another thing. The last thing in this, expression in your manifestation and actions. Whenever you are meeting somebody for this kind of works, when you are speaking to the person, you can have different modes. You can be on the learner mode, means you are trying to learn what he is saying. You can be on the teacher mode. You are trying to teach him what you know. Or you can be on the know-all mode. Then comes the expression, overall expression. See, what are the items under expression? Learner, teacher, know-all, judgmental, indifferent, helping, refusing. There can be many more expressions. What is this expression about? Is when you are talking to somebody, you are trying to listen to him and learn from him. And then you can be on the learner mode. That means you are trying to, if you are talking to somebody, you are trying to learn from him. Or you can be on the teacher mode. You are going to advise him something. You are going to teach him something. Additionally, give some additional inputs. You can be a Mr. Know-all. That means you pose that you know everything. You can be judgmental. Means if somebody says something and then immediately you become judgmental and ask a question instead. Okay? You can be indifferent. Somebody is trying to tell you something and you play indifferent. Or somebody is helping, like say if somebody is trying to get your help either by talking or for anything and you are now helping, or you may be refusing. There are so many such kind of expressions you can have. Only thing is there are certain positives, certain negatives. Let me highlight that. If you are a learner, it is good, because being a learner, not interjecting somebody if he is trying to tell something, not interjecting, mind it, then you will get lot of leads and feedbacks, which may be very helpful for your business. You get a lead when you are a good learner. Everybody wants to speak, and there should be always a person opposite to it is a learner. But there is a limit up to which you will become a learner. You should not keep on just learning, and then suddenly he feels that he knows everything and you don't know anything. So the moment you find after some time that you got your all inputs which is going to be beneficial to you by being a learner, then now you become a teacher. That means now you tell him something which you know, so that it can be of his benefit. But that does not mean, see, there is a difference between teacher and the know-all. Teacher means he is trying to add some knowledge to the other person, but the know-all is a bragging. He brags that he knows everything. I had some colleagues, whenever I used to give him some information, he used to say, I know, but actually he didn't know. I know, yes, I know. Then I said, what do you know? Then he comes up with the facts which is nothing to do with what I was going to say. So I know is a syndrome of the Mr. Know-all. Never be Mr. Know-all. See, knowledge is a vast domain. You cannot have all the knowledge. So if you pose a know-all, basically you know what you do. You are shutting off yourself from any other information that somebody can volunteer to you. Because what I do, I will tell you. I have identified few Mr. Know-alls around me. Whenever I try to tell them something, add some knowledge to them, immediately their first reaction is, I know. And then immediately I shut. And then suppose a question asked, I say, you already know. You know. Why should I tell you? Because you know everything. So the thing is, never be Mr. Know-all. Internally be Mr. Know-all. Internally means you have your knowledge. Entire knowledge you have. But never pose outside as Mr. Know-all. That is going to snap all your relation with everybody else, and everybody is going to shut themselves up and you are not going to get the facts. Here, now if I use these three first, be a good learner, then you get lots of inputs and information which is beneficial for you. And if you found that somebody has given some inputs which is for your benefit, then you also teach him something. Become a teacher. Give him some feedbacks, some inputs, some tips which will be beneficial to him. Very positive. These two are very positive. Don't be a continuous learner and don't be a continuous teacher. Means we say in Hindi, gyan. Don't keep on giving gyan. Teach him. Give him inputs. What is teaching? Basically, you are giving him some knowledge or inputs. Okay? So be a learner up to a certain extent, then be a teacher. And you can change your mode in between your entire conversation. Be a learner and teacher, no problem. But never be Mr. Know-all. Okay? Never be judgmental as well. because judgmental if you become, then that also is a reason why the conversation or the interaction shuts off, it closes. If you become judgmental, an example let me tell you, never ask a question against a question. I don't know whether you understand this. Never ask a question against a question. If suppose somebody asks you that, can you tell me where is that location? Your answer either is I don't know, or else you say it is that location. But instead, if your answer is why, he asked about a location and your answer is why, you asked a question. The moment you ask a question, then your conversation stops, shuts. Okay? Never ask a question against a question. Keep it at the back of your mind and make it almost like your Bible. Never be Mr. Know-all to outsiders. Always try to listen to him, because maybe a treasure of knowledge sitting in front of you, you are getting the feedbacks, you will be highly benefited. And if he has helped you, teach him something. And never be judgmental, because somebody, because of their non-verbal and verbal communication skills, they may not be able to express the way they should had, or following a decorum or something. So don't be judgmental in the beginning. Be judgmental after analysis. Don't be indifferent. Being indifferent is an insult. Don't be indifferent. If somebody is trying to know something, you can politely tell him that you don't know. And if you don't want to tell him or give him the input, you can also politely say, I don't know. But never say that I won't tell you, I know but I won't tell you. So indifference it's a kind of negative, okay, it hurts. Helping is always good, and refusing is bad. So now if you see the entire stretch, I would say learning, being a learner, being a teacher, and being helping are the positive expressions, and then know-all, judgmental, indifferent and refusing are the negative expressions. I hope these will make you understand about the entire set of grooming that we really have to do. I am closing this here with my grooming exercises. Next, I will discuss about, straightway I will go to the interviews and I will tell you what to do, what not to do, and how to, there are lots of things to learn in that. Okay, before I go into this, I have an advice. Since the beginning, whatever I have discussed, okay, don't be judgmental. Try to understand it. Don't try to judge right or wrong. Try to understand what I am trying to say, and then you make your own judgment later, after you have understood everything, that what you want to follow, what you don't want to follow. And I can assure you that something which I said do, if you do it, you will definitely see good results. And something which I said don't, if you do it, you will definitely get some bad results. Okay? So try to find out the positives and the negatives of this, all the points that I have highlighted, and be prepared for facing an interview. So my next set of lectures will start with interview, and since my interview is not only for jobs, so interview, group discussions will be now clubbed with negotiations, professional business negotiations, all these things together. Okay? Wait for it. Thank you very much for giving your time.